Chapter 4. The first Monday at his new job, Brian woke up earlier than he had in months. His alarm went off at 6:30, and though part of him wanted to pull the blanket over his head, something stronger urged him out of bed. He dressed carefully, khakis, the same button down from his interview, and checked himself in the mirror twice. His reflection didn't look like the old Brian, but it didn't look like the broken one either. Somewhere in between. On the subway ride downtown, his nerves came back. What if they expect more than I can give? What if I screw up on the first day? Still, he stepped into the glass building again, flashed a nervous smile at the receptionist, and followed a manager into the office. The first few hours passed in a blur of introductions, quick tours, and small tasks. His role was administrative, basic data entry, emails, scheduling, nothing overwhelming, but every click of the keyboard felt like a test. He wanted so badly not to fail. By noon, his head ached from concentrating too hard, and his fingers hovered over the keys like he was defusing a bomb. That's when it happened, his first mistake. He sent out an email to the wrong distribution list, a harmless scheduling note, but it went out to 20 people instead of 3. Within minutes, replies started popping up. Think this was sent by mistake. Please remove me from this chain. His stomach sank. Heat rushed to his face. His supervisor, a tall woman named Karen, walked over. "Karen, can I see you for a second?" His pulse spiked. This is it. Day 1 and I'm already done. But when she closed the door behind them, she didn't look angry, just calm. Listen, it happens. Don't beat yourself up. Just double check next time. Everyone makes mistakes. Brian nodded, unable to meet her eyes. His chest was tight, but slowly he realized he wasn't fired. He wasn't being humiliated. She was giving him room to learn. At lunch, Brian sat alone in the break room unwrapping a sandwich. He replayed the email mistake over and over, but another thought kept breaking through. I survived. It wasn't perfect, but he was still here, still standing. And maybe that was the real test. The second week at the office was tougher than the first. At first, Brian thought the hardest part would be surviving his nerves. But once the novelty of the first week wore off, the real challenge began. Keeping up. His inbox seemed to refill every time he cleared it. Tasks overlapped, deadlines pressed, and he often felt like he was 2 steps behind everyone else. He watched his coworkers move effortlessly through projects, chatting confidently in meetings, while he scribbled frantic notes just to keep track. By Wednesday, he'd stayed late 2 nights in a row. He walked home exhausted, eating vending machine snacks for dinner, his mind replaying every small mistake. A typo in a report, a forgotten attachment, a hesitation when asked a question. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, he thought one night as he collapsed onto his bed, still in his work clothes. Maybe they only hired me because they were desperate. Maybe I don't belong here after all. On Friday, during a team meeting, his manager asked him to share a quick update. It should have been simple, 2 sentences tops, but as soon as all eyes turned to him, his throat went dry, his hands shook under the table. I've been working on... His voice cracked. He stammered, trying to recall his notes. The silence stretched. Finally, Karen, his supervisor, gently stepped in to rephrase the point for him. Brian wanted to sink through the floor. All afternoon, shame clung to him like a heavy coat. He replayed the moment 100 times, each time convincing himself it was proof he didn't belong. By the time he got home that night, he was certain of one thing. He was failing. That weekend, he didn't want to leave bed. The momentum of the last month, the haircut, the runs, the small victories, felt distant, like they'd happened to someone else. But late Sunday afternoon, he reached for his notebook. His fingers hovered over it for a long time before finally opening to a blank page. He stared, then wrote, "I'm scared. I feel like I don't belong. But I felt this before, and I'm still here." The words weren't inspiring. They weren't triumphant, but they were true. And for now, truth was enough. Monday morning came with its usual heaviness. Brian dragged himself to the office, bracing for another week of mistakes and silent embarrassment. But something shifted that day. During the morning briefing, Karen handed out a task nobody seemed eager to take, a messy data file that needed to be organized before the next meeting. Everyone groaned. It wasn't glamorous work, and it required a ridiculous amount of focus. Brian raised his hand. "I can take it." The words surprised even him. His voice shook, but it was out there. Karen looked at him for a moment, then nodded. "All right, Brian, it's yours." For the rest of the day, he buried himself in the assignment. His anxiety was still there, whispering that he'd screw it up, but he ignored it and focused on one line at a time. He stayed late again, but this time not out of panic, out of determination. By Tuesday afternoon, the file was clean, organized, and ready. When he presented it, Karen raised her eyebrows. "This is solid work," she said loud enough for the rest of the team to hear. Bryant felt a spark inside him. Tiny, but real. For the first time in weeks, he didn't feel like an outsider pretending to belong. He felt like he had earned his place at the table. That night, he wrote in his notebook, "Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just raising your hand." The rest of the week wasn't perfect. He still made mistakes. He still stumbled over words in meetings. But every time doubt tried to crush him, he remembered that moment. Karen's voice, the nod of approval, the proof that he could contribute. It wasn't about being flawless. It was about showing up again and again, even when it scared him. By Friday, walking home under the streetlights, Brian caught his reflection in a shop window. He barely recognized the man looking back. Tired, yes, but also standing taller than he had in years. He smiled. For the first time in a long time, he was proud of himself.